Hello, my friend. I am glad you are here again, taking this time to slow down and reflect. Tonight, I want to take you somewhere familiar, yet endlessly mysterious. The night sky. It is something we all share, no matter where we stand in the world. The same stars that shone on the people before us are shining on us now. And so the question for this reflection is simple. When you look up at the night sky, what do you feel? For some, the sky brings calm. Its stillness seems eternal, untouched by the noise of daily life. We look up, and suddenly our problems shrink. The stars remind us that time moves differently beyond our small worries. They remind us that we are part of something vast, something that existed long before us and will continue long after. For others, the sky awakens a kind of longing. It feels like looking at a story we cannot quite read, a language of light that we only partly understand. The stars are both near and far, both present and unreachable. They stir a feeling that is half wonder, half homesickness, as if some part of us remembers the universe from before we were born. Sometimes the sky also makes us feel small, and that smallness can be strange. It can humble us, it can make us question what truly matters. But if we look carefully, that smallness is not loneliness, it is connection. It is the quiet truth that we belong to something infinite, that we are made of the same materials as the stars themselves. The atoms that burn in distant galaxies live within us too. The universe does not only surround us, it is inside us. Let me tell you a story. There was once a man who spent his life working long hours in a city full of light and noise. One night, during a power outage, the city went dark. He stepped outside, and for the first time in years, he could see the stars. He said later that he felt like he had rediscovered a part of himself he didn't know he had lost. It was as if the sky had been there all along, he said, waiting for me to look up. That night didn't change his circumstances, but it changed his sense of scale. He remembered that life is not measured by urgency, but by awareness. The night sky has always guided us, sailors, travelers, dreamers. Long before clocks or maps, humans looked to the stars for direction. Even now, when satellites orbit and cities glow, that old instinct remains. We look up not only to find our way through space, but to find our way through ourselves. Maybe you have had a moment like that too. A night when you stopped for no reason, tilted your head back, and felt something wordless move inside you. Maybe it was peace, maybe it was awe, maybe it was fear of how infinite everything seemed. Whatever it was real. The night sky often says things we cannot say ourselves. Think about it now. When you look up at the night sky, what do you feel? Do you feel small or infinite? Do you feel alone or connected? Do you see the stars as distant lights or as reminders that you too are a spark of the same creation? There is a quiet lesson written in those lights, one we rarely pause to read. It is the reminder that everything changes, but the stars remain. That our stories, our joys, our fears are part of something larger. That every life, no matter how brief, is a note in the same song of existence. So, the next time you see the night sky, don't rush past it. Stop for a moment. Let it remind you of your place in this vast, beautiful mystery. Let it remind you that even in darkness, there is always light. Sometimes, when we look at the night sky, we search for meaning. We wonder what else is out there. other worlds, other lives, other minds looking back. It's strange to think that light from some of those stars began its journey long before humanity existed. The light we see tonight is history still arriving. We are witnessing the past in motion, proof that even after something ends, its light can go on. Maybe that's why the sky moves us. It teaches us about time without using words. Everything we love, everything we fear, will one day become part of that same silent pattern, changing form but never truly disappearing. We too will leave traces, not in the sky perhaps, but in the lives we've touched, in the love we've given, in the small ways we've shaped the world. The night sky can feel like a mirror. When you are peaceful, it feels calm. When you are lost, it feels endless. When you are hurting, it can look cold and unreachable. Yet the stars don't change, only we do. The sky stays steady while we move through our seasons of hope and doubt. There's comfort in that. It reminds us that stillness is not emptiness, it's continuity. I once heard someone describe stargazing as a conversation with everything. That feels true. You stand there, silent, and somehow you are part of a dialogue older than language. The stars say nothing, but they listen perfectly. They hold all our questions without answering, and somehow that is enough. There's another story I remember. A young woman used to walk home every evening after work. Her days were ordinary, filled with small frustrations and tasks. But on clear nights she would stop halfway, in a quiet street, where city lights dim just enough to show a handful of stars. She didn't know their names. She just stood there for a minute or two. "It was my reset button," she said. "I never solved anything there, but it helped me breathe again." The stars didn't fix her problems. They just reminded her of perspective, that her life, with all its confusion, still belonged to something vast and beautiful. That's the quiet gift of the night sky. It doesn't demand belief or understanding. It simply offers perspective, a reminder that we are part of a story so wide it can hold both our fears and our wonder. We spend much of life trying to control things, trying to find certainty, but the stars show us a different truth. You can't control the universe, and you don't need to. You can simply exist in it, notice it, be amazed by it. So, what do you feel when you look up? Maybe peace, maybe awe, maybe a kind of homesickness for something beyond words. All of it is welcome. Let the night sky be a teacher. Let it remind you of your smallness, not as weakness, but as belonging. Let it remind you that light travels far, and yours does too, even if you don't see it yet. The stars have been watching us for a very long time. They know every generation that has looked up with wonder and fear. They will keep shining after we're gone. That's not sad. That's beautiful. Because in some quiet way, we are part of that continuity. We are made of the same dust, bound by the same physics, carried by the same mystery. So next time you find yourself under the open sky, stop for a while. Don't ask for answers. Just listen. The stars are still speaking, and somewhere in that silence you might hear yourself. My friend, we have wandered together beneath the stars, and now it is time to return once more to the question. When you look up at the night sky, what do you feel? Perhaps you feel peace, the quiet kind that needs no explanation. Perhaps you feel small, but in a way that comforts rather than frightens you. Or perhaps you feel a pull, a reminder that life is more mysterious and vast than we often remember. The sky has a way of holding everything: our questions, our hopes, our loneliness, our wonder. It doesn't answer, but it listens, and in its silence, we often find our own truth reflected back. Maybe that is why we keep looking up. We are not only seeing stars, we are remembering something, that we belong, that we are part of something ancient, something infinite, something still unfolding. So I ask you now, before you go, when you look at the night sky, what do you feel? Share your answer in the comments. Your words may help someone else notice the beauty that waits above them every night. Thank you for being here tonight, for giving yourself this moment to slow down and reflect. Stay gentle, stay curious, and stay kind. And if this question spoke to you, continue your journey with us on Yarven's Questions. More reflections, more stories, and more quiet wonders are waiting for you. Take care, my friend. Until next time.